right, so we got the ridge pole, I guess you can call it, up. That's all screwed together, tightened down, spaced perfectly as best we can. Now we're gonna do the other 2 purlins. There's 2 more purlins that go on this greenhouse, 1 on each side, and it just kind of helps tie everything together. So because we're putting this together without really any instructions, we're just kind of guessing and seeing what the best place is to put the other purlins. We can see that previously the purlins were put like right down here. You can see the little marks, but that seems a little bit low just because the hip board is like 4 feet below that. That's going to tie it together. So what we thought to do was actually just split the difference and put the second purlins, well, second and third purlin, halfway down from the ridge to the where the hip board's going to be. So that is about right here. So if you look down here, we'll have the purlin just go right here. So to make my life easier, what we're going to do is I'm just going to tie a string to this point, or whatever halfway is. It's right around here. I'm going to tie a string from here, measure the same distance down there, and just run a string, and then we'll just keep the purlin straight with the string. And we're still going to measure out the 4 feet right here just because the poles are a little wonky still, and we just want to make sure that we straighten everything out and get that 4 foot on center measurement. So here we go. All right, we are now working on the 2 end walls. Well, we're gonna do one first, see how it goes, and then basically duplicate whatever we do on the other one. I don't know if you can see it, but we kind of laid out our idea for what we want to do on the ground with lumber, and now we're just gonna kind of measure and cut. Nothing's gonna be perfect about this. The greenhouse itself is it's old, so it's got damage to it. It's a little wonky, so we can't just duplicate everything cut for cut, but the idea is what we're going to be duplicating. So I looked online for a long time and I could not find any like straightforward plans of how to build an end wall. A couple companies give you schematics of how they do it for, like, if you want to buy a kit or something, or if you're doing it out of steel tubing, but there's no set kind of way to do it. So I'm just going to figure out as we go along and go off a couple pictures that I found online of how to do it. So this is what we came up with. All right, holy crap. That was a lot harder than I thought. So we got snowed out for a couple days. It was really cold, really icy. It's like 18 degrees here. Welcome to Maine. But today it's like 60 degrees. It's beautiful. It's sunny. Gorgeous day to work on this. So I started working on the end wall again. And whew, man, had to change a couple things. This is a little tricky, but I finally got the system down. So I did the first half of one wall, if that makes sense. So we had to, because we're not going to lift a whole 30-foot wall all at once because it would totally buckle. We did it in sections. So we're doing 2 halves and then kind of filling in the center bit later. So this is the first half of one wall that I did. And as you can see, it's a little bit different. So we kept the basic shape the same, still doing the cross brace at an angle here, the long guys right there. I had to add a couple of supports. So those are supports there. It's going to help it, especially for high winds and everything like that. The other thing that we did is we had to add a sill. So we're actually putting a like 6-inch, 8-inch sill all the way around the whole thing, specifically, on the 2 long sides, just for the roll-up sides. And then over here, we had to create the angle of the rib. So we basically drew it on a piece of cardboard and then lined them all up, cut the angles, and screwed it all together. There's still lots to do. We've got to do this half, we got to do that whole half, we got to put the hip boards on, we got to put the sills on, and then we got to cover everything in plastic, and that's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can get this all up in 2 videos. If not, it's going to be 3.